Good afternoon, everyone. Kitty Foss here, your storytelling astrologist, reader of the stars. For a little bit of the 26th, I'm going to share how the energy that started on the 25th, Uranus moving into Gemini, affected me on that first date. The 26th, the 27th, which happens to be today, and tomorrow, the 28th. Remarkably, both the 26th and the 28th are completely busy aspects days. That means the planets are having a lot of conversations with each other or non-conversations. And as it was on the 26th, that's exactly what was happening, especially with the moon that was in Virgo. Virgo is a solution generator. Sometimes it doesn't like to accept other people's solutions, hence why it gets the name nitpicky. It's quite an misunderstood energy. It is the energy of as below, the patterns, the fractals that we put together for the past that are being shaken up right now. And yesterday there were a lot of non-conversations with the Aries energy and the moon. So all of those little pieces and starting things were not quite gelling. And that certainly played out for me. I found myself not able to, it wasn't that I was not able to, that I was really being told, sit still, be quiet, and just allow things to unfold. That Gemini energy that is coming in, that is rather chaotic, but it's having us take a look at our experience and kind of hold what has happened over the last 7 days, 7 years, into what I want to experience now in this next 7 years. Now that I've let go of stabilities, Uranus and Taurus, that were really not serving me, that really were around issues with money and what my values are and who I was surrounding myself with. And so this kickoff of that energy on the 26th was a lot about not putting the pieces together with that Aries energy and starting, but rather experiencing what is beautiful, how we're able to communicate what is beautiful, activating that with spirit yesterday in this new responsibility that we're taking, discernment around what do we need to nurture in the experience, how do we need to share our voice moving forward, and as well as the sun in Aries, in Taurus, was really working with that moon. So it was about our home, our garden, who we were established. That's that Taurus energy that is the sun right now that moves us forward, working with all of those little pieces. How do I put this together? How do I experience it? What am I to nurture? And again, the Aries placements were not necessarily in a conversation other than to be working independently with some of our bigger themes, Neptune, Pluto. So Uranus was not the player yesterday, but its entrance in. So looking at our 3 big themes over the next 7 years. How do I take responsibility with spirit in this new cycle? How do I look at what the vision is for all mankind, my piece of it, and transform to be a part of it, hold my space, my place, and then the chaos and awakening that's around our communications, our technology, our Gemini energy of the continuum, how that's going to look. What tries to divide us over this next 7 years is the issue. We can see things differently, but getting into you against me versus this is a we, and those people that are trying to separate us and keep us in a caste system, this is better, this is better, are exactly what we're learning to take responsibility for ourselves, to look at the vision of how that is in a collective. We're not going back. And also in this chaos to find the awakening. It's very important to be curious and to step into the energy of finding out what is real, using your intuition, not in a, I know I'm right, but in a, I need to be curious. I need to be skeptical and curious and look at how this brings us together. And even if I see things differently, it's not about me going after them. It's about other people up here, other systems, centuries long systems trying to hold into this caste system that keeps us separated and suppressed. It's by not allowing this division that we progress. So today on the 27th, we have a void of course for most of the day. So your own moon, your own intuition of stepping forth. I'm a Leo moon, so it's really about myself. What am I perceiving? Who am I seeing? With that flavor of Virgo, what were the little pieces that were introduced? That moon is able to activate your own moon along with that little Virgo. We're able to activate. There is a sextile with our Jupiter energy about truth, about nurturing truth for ourselves, truth for what do we know. And that is not, that same moon is not in really communication, once again, with our Mercury energy that is so prevalent right now in what are we going to experience, because Mercury rules Gemini, and with Uranus's adventure into Gemini, Mercury will often be what are we going to experience? How are we going to communicate it? That is not in necessarily a communication with our own personal moon right now. They're kind of working separate. So pay attention to what comes into your realm today. And then tomorrow, we have the moon moving into Libra. Libra, that justice and balance and harmony, also about social contracts. And that moon is in a real big conversation for the first time since it's moved into Gemini with Uranus there. With Uranus on what technological things. Again, this is where being curious, starting to evaluate the speed at which, the relentlessness at which this is going to be taking place. Be aware of it. Be aware of your own need to pause. Take that responsibility. There is an opposition with that taking responsibility. Where do I find the midpoint in this and still keep myself informed, and this is the and not get overwhelmed by it? Meanwhile, our Pluto energy, that is in that visionary energy about what's happening in the bigger picture, is working with Venus that's also entered Gemini. So it is about beauty, harmony, sculpting is the word that comes. What it is that this transformation is going to look like in the collective, in my place and space. That same Pluto energy is also working with the moon, our own personal moon, to help us identify what it is that I am sculpting, what I am putting my values around. I don't like the word value, that's transactional. What I cherish, what I honor. It's also working that same moon with Venus. So Venus and Pluto and the moon in Libra are really looking for a balance, helping you try to stabilize this great speed at which we will be moving. It's not about what we're moving forward in, it's about our launching point on the 28th. And with an opposition with the moon in Libra, with our structure, our energy that is Aries and Saturn, it really is about, I'm not here to enter all these other structures. I'm here to find a midpoint with my own understanding of balance and the structures in which I'm choosing and taking responsibility and experiencing over the next 7 years. I'm Kitty Foss. I will be back on the 29th of April. Where did April go? To take a look again as that we will continue at that point with the Libra moon. Namaste. I'm going to add this over the next 7 years often. Be curious, learn to listen, and understand taking the responsibility for that. That's your place and space in this wider evolution. Namaste.